Hi, welcome back to Nadya's Identity Files. I have with me the very gorgeous and so talented and intelligent Simona Fusco.
Well, thank
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having
Really
me.
appreciate
and likewise.
it. Oh, thank
Gorgeous
you.
and beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. You do so much. You're an actress, model, producer, award-winning entrepreneur, presented by it was Mayor Eric.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was
with
the
the Global
Eric
Excellence
Garcetti.
Award, a philanthropist, and obviously founder of Perfect 12 matchmaking service. Why did you decide to become a matchmaker?
Well, I decided to get into matchmaking because it always worked for me. I met the father of my child and my late husband through a matchmaking service, and all my long-term relationships I've met through matchmaking. But I noticed some things that I didn't like with a few of the services is that they didn't do their due diligence. They wouldn't conduct background checks. They would just accept applications over the internet and never meet the people in person. So there were just a lot of things that I thought could be improved, and that's why I started my own. But it does work because I am a walking, talking advertisement. It worked for me.
I mean, you are pretty much the Perfect 12. I mean, you are the brand of your company in many ways. I mean,
wow. Well, thank you.
Or
You're
Perfect
very
13,
sweet.
actually.
Higher.
Take it higher.
Why stop there?
Right? So, I mean, when you were saying that people were not background checking, do you think there's an issue where people are fabricating, putting out false identities, saying like a male, for example, saying he's a super successful mega serial entrepreneur when in actuality he is struggling and, you know, trying to take advantage of a service where he thinks there's not enough of the background checks?
Yes, that's one of the things guys can maybe elaborate on who they are and what they do and how much income they make. But at the end of the day, our service is $25,000 for a membership, so you know that will weed out the guys pretty fast.
For sure.
And then with the girls, you know, girls love to retouch their pictures or use pictures from, 10 years ago. So a lot of the times they will not look anything like their pictures.
Right.
So that's why we meet everybody in person, make sure they look like their pictures and they are who they say they are.
Right. So can you talk a little bit about the specifications for a Perfect 12 male client versus a Perfect 12 female client? Like the requirements, rather?
Our clients, most of my clients are celebrities, politicians, Fortune 500s, entrepreneurs, and their most precious asset are their time and reputation. So they're not the types to go to bars, or they can't be caught online because they're high-profile individuals.
Right.
They're not the types to go to this construction.
I know, you guys. Sorry, there's construction outside. There's like a big black fence in front of us. It's really ugly. It's Star Wars, Star Weird premiere. The Star Weird premiere. That's like a Freudian slip. How I really feel about Star Wars.
And it's very noisy, so it's throwing me off. So apologies, but so they're not the types to go to bars, and they can't be seen online because online dating is very dangerous. You never know who's lurking on the other side of your computer or your smartphone. So and with the ladies too, a Perfect 12. The reason I called my service a Perfect 12 is because it's not just about being a pretty face. It's offering education, being classy, being sophisticated, and having substance, most importantly.
Right. I mean, what do you define as being a woman of substance? Can you break that down a little further?
Well, I mean, I think like I said, I just have a lot of girls in this town are beautiful, but that's not really enough. My clients can meet beautiful girls dime a dozen. That's not what's important to them. They're looking for quality, having something else to bring to the table than just your looks.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So obviously men have to pay the $25,000 fee. So with the girls, because you mentioned the retouching situation, I mean, the Perfect 12, so the woman has to be, how do you set the bar for attractive level? I mean, do you ever feel like, wow, I'm having to judge a woman, make sure she's beautiful? I mean, how does that work?
Well, once again, we don't just judge them on their looks. It's a total package that they bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Obviously, they have to be able to present themselves and be classy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just, like I said, about that pretty face. I want to make sure that they can hold a conversation. You know,
Right.
it's not some like little ditzy girl. I mean, you know, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
not easy. Like I said, this town has a
Right.
lot of beautiful girls, but then there's nothing
Right.
behind that surface.
Right. And similarly, you know, a lot of men, they could be successful, but they themselves might not offer the level of quality that a perfect 12
Exactly.
woman is looking for.
Yes,
So
they
it-
might not be worldly. They
Right.
might not have the right education, and you know, a lot of the women are very picky too. But then also, we turn down a lot of the guys and girls that have unrealistic expectations. Because, for example, we get some very wealthy guys that could be much older and want to date that 20-year-old, and
Right.
respectfully, we have to turn them down because
Right.
you have to be realistic in what they're looking for.
Right.
And the same thing with girls. Sometimes their expectations can be just extremely unrealistic.
Can you give a couple examples of, me without naming names, of course, some of the most
Let's name some
wild.
names. Let's
Hey,
call you
so,
out.
By the way, I'm going to get you on the phone right now. Can you tell us all of your sordid secrets?
Well, he was kind of cute.
Right?
We're like,
hi.
You're a little distracted. Let's call him in here.
Yeah, he can be outside of Perfect 12. We'll let him slide.
That's funny. What was your question?
I know.
I got distracted.
That's what happens. People have like taken birds and knocked them against the window.
No,
Yes,
that's
they
funny.
have. That's what happened when Julia was on. You should go
Birds?
back. Birds.
Where did they
like
get
a
the
pigeon.
birds?
They had a pigeon.
Oh my God, that's
Like,
crazy.
Knocking it was so weird. It was
That
so
would
weird.
scare me.
I was terrified. Like this is. Have you ever seen Home Alone 2? It was like the pigeon woman, but a man.
That's so funny. Oh my
I
God.
think what I was asking is I wanted some interesting scenarios.
Of being
I guess
unrealistic.
the unrealistic, because I think, you know, with the advent of the dating apps and just kind of the culture that we're in, people they work off certain contrivances, not just in
Yes.
dating, but in every facet of life.
Well, I think that social media really actually is a negative for women because a lot of the times, unless it's for their careers where they post their modeling pictures, that's one thing. But I notice with a lot of my clients, and I will warn them about this because my male clients will look at social media, and when they see the girl exposing herself too much. I want to be careful how I word this. Too provocative.
Right.
You know, pictures that are too provocative. It really turns these guys off, especially when a
Right.
guy's a successful guy. I mean, of course they'll get the attention, but it'll be the wrong kind of attention.
Right.
It's short-lived. So if they're looking for a long-term relationship and a long-term partner, they should really be careful what they post on social media about themselves. Less is more. Leave them
Right.
wanting more.
Right. I mean, I agree, but to some extent, do you feel like that's kind of a double standard at all, or no?
What do you mean? How so?
Like, you know, just because I feel that to some extent men don't have these types of requirements and concerns that women do. Well, I think, you know, me myself, like I want to keep things nuanced and subdued, and I recommend that to a lot of my female friends as well.
Right.
Because, you know, unfortunately it is the way of the world. But do you ever think, you know, like, gosh, this kind of sucks that women have to be so overly concerned about this, whereas men, they don't have to have these types of issues to concern themselves with.
Well, I mean, I don't see men posing in their G-strings
Right.
on social media.
Right,
so,
right.
I just think there is a way to post things in a more classy way
For
than having to be trashy.
Oh, but what do you, like, what would you define as that? Or some of your clients, rather, what would they define as that in the past?
I would think that there's a tasteful way of posting a picture. You don't
Right.
have to always show everything.
Right.
You know, butt up in the air, duck lips here. You know, it's just
In LA, the duck lips are very
overexposed.
common.
It's just too much. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, my clients sometimes meet these girls in person and say, my gosh, she looks nothing like her pictures on Instagram because they're highly retouched. And they also don't like all this fakeness. They
Yeah.
actually prefer a girl that's more natural.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to show everything in order to get attention.
Right, absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. I mean, you obviously Perfect 12 is so successful. You even have a private jet. I was looking online. I was like, oh my gosh, a Perfect 12 jet. Who's on that jet? A Perfect 12. All the married, like they're getting off when they're married. They're about to get married, all of them at once. That would be so cool.
No, but we have
you should
had a
arrange
few.
that.
We've had a few events on the jet, also on yachts. Some of those are from my clients that let us use their jets and their yachts.
Fabulous.
Yeah, we have a few billboards up on Sunset Plaza. So if you see it and you mention where you saw it, I will waive the consultation fee. So there you go.
Right? There you go. Well, thank you so much, Simona. When we come back, we're going to be talking with Kimberly, and then, of course, we're going to have a round table where we can dig in even more.
Great.
And you can feel free to bring up anything else that crops up in your mind about identity and social media and the dating space. Thank you so much.
That sounds fun.
We'll be right
Thank you.
back.